Viewer discretion is advised.
Because I'm like, even though he's uncomfortable, he's forcing himself to say I love you to someone else. And for me, I'm helping change that.
Mandate.
Welcome to Mandate, where we navigate fresh perspectives and nothing is off the table. Tonight's guest hails all the way from the promised land, 274 Otara, but better known as the home of the brave. He's an amazing talent in terms of the performing arts realm, in terms of stage, film and television. Also, he's renowned for his roles in the TV series Shortland Street and also Hawaii 5-0. And so also short films like The Cool Boy to be Samoan, but also feature films as 1,000 Ropes. You have Thank You for Your Service, and also Shadow in the Cloud, but also even recently another movie he's just done called Jewel. And so a plethora of accolades in the creative space. Please give it up for one of New Zealand's finest, the brother, also a son of Samoa, the talented Beulah Koale.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. Hey, also, hey, I think we said earlier on, we're a bit starstruck, because we're very proud of your work. But just off the bat, just before we kind of dive into the deeper stuff, Beulah, just wondering, did you ever imagine in your wildest imagination that you would be doing what you're doing in terms of rubbing shoulders with all these celebrities, your face being plastered on the big screen and on television? Did you ever envision, like, man, I'm going to be on TV, I'm going to be a film star, I'm going to be a superstar?
Yeah, well, first of all, pleasure being here, man. Honor. Growing up as a kid, definitely not. Never thought I'd be an actor. Never knew how to get into acting or what it was. The best I could do at acting was playing, the third sakangi on White Sundays. And local kamaiki. It's all like I never got to play Jesus, man. Too short. But no, this never my wildest dreams growing up. But I guess yes, in the sense that when I decided to become an actor, I visualized this. I visualized these things that I'm going through, and it's all happening. Yeah.
And I know we talked early on, and we're super proud, bro, because your roots are in Otara, and we're Otara boys as well. And so, bro, just when we see your face, and like I said early on, because I was watching some of your clips and some of the movies in the Hawaii 5-0, and just the work you do, bro, you just do some brilliant stuff, man. Brilliant stuff. And so just being just doing those different characters and all that, because I can imagine it's a whole different ball game, a whole different world, being in the States and doing all these amazing, I guess you say, characters, and you come back home. And so what's it like when you come back home? Do you feel the love when people see you? Or is it just like,
nah, you don't feel the love, which is what I love the most. You're just like everyone else here and back home with my family, back home walking around with my people in South Auckland or anywhere in Auckland, New Zealand. In the States, you get that. You get the people, gravitating towards you, wanting something from you, where when I come back home out south, you just see people who are proud. And I enjoy that, and people who just treat me like how I want to be treated, just like a normal guy from South Auckland, So,
yeah, man, awesome.
Yeah, just right off the bat before we sort of go into it, I'm just super proud also, and just having you on here, it's a bit trying to hold back some emotion because, man, we're proud South Aucklanders, bro, especially when you're from 274 and seeing, we always have that tagline, South Auckland to the world.
Hell yeah.
Personify that, and having you like on that stage and you willing to come on this podcast, and just the way you came in, and man, you kept it real, man. This is straight our people. If you know Masi Samoa, baby. It's from Dawson Road too, so give it up to also. We're really proud and just grateful for you also. And usually we give all our honors and give our flowers at the end, but I'm just super proud. I'm just filled with so much
just gratitude, man.
Gratitude, yeah. Thank you for what you do, man. Also.
I'll take that, and I take that because I feel like a lot of our people, we don't take it. You know, sometimes we're like, oh, no, thanks to... But I take that because I want the next kid to take it. You know, when they... Because I remember growing up and people, when I used to tell that to people and they wouldn't take what I was giving to them, and I was like, oh man, I was giving you something. So I always told myself, if I ever got into a position like that and someone would give me a compliment, take it. That's how you honor that, and then try and push it further and help the next people coming up. So yeah,
man,
thank you.
Oh man, no, you're welcome, man. Because obviously with the film and television, and you obviously started off with Massive, right?
Massive theatre company,
and so you kind of started on the stage. And so how did how was the transition from being on the stage and then going to television and then short films and then feature films?
Yeah, it kind of all happened exactly how you said, and it was kind of like I was just learning as I went along. You know, I didn't go to any school to teach me how to act. It was just I was at Beulah College, and my teacher David Riley, the English teacher, just ran a drama club during my sixth form, and I just went along because you got to skip a couple of classes if you went along to this drama thing. And me and my boys went along, and then I kind of found, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. This is and a theatre practitioner asked me, she goes, why do you play rugby? I said, oh, because I can legally hurt someone or get hurt myself and let out the anger I have in my life. And she goes, what if I could tell you that this job you can let out anger, happiness, joy, sadness, everything? And I just remember not being interested in it, but just being like, whoa, that's a weird, how do you do that? You know? And she's like, come join these free holiday workshops, which they ran during school holidays. And I just went along, and it was at OMAC, down at OMAC, and I went there, and that's kind of where I caught the bug, where I saw these teenagers who were my age, who were like super confident, who looked at you in the eyes and talked to you. And growing up, you didn't look at anyone in the eyes. Looking someone in the eyes and talking to them means confrontation, you know? So that was always weird. And then I walked down, I was like, nah, I don't want this, man. This is weird. And I'm a very competitive person. People in my circle know that, and I just refuse to like lose to something. So I was like, I'll just go back in there and just keep figuring it out until I can finish it, and then I'll leave. So I'm still in that process of trying to figure out what acting is, and I haven't left. I'm still trying to answer that question that she about joy, happiness, sadness, anger. I'm still trying to figure that out in this world, and learning it job to job. From that workshop, I stayed there until I learned a couple of skills and done a theatre show, and then got spotted for commercials and agents and short films, and just the whole way going, holy crap, I'm five-a-laying these guys, man. I'm tricking these guys. They keep putting me in that thing. They don't know. I don't know anything. But, as I've gotten older, I realized that I didn't need to learn anything. All I needed to learn was how to put who Beulah is into these projects, into these characters, how to put my life experiences into these characters that they've written. And I was always, when I was younger, trying to play something else, where all I needed was I've experienced it, I went through all that hardship growing up as a kid, or all the great stuff growing up as a kid. And Otara, that was for this job, and I thank God for that, for giving me that light to see that. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's mean.
Yeah.
Because we're sitting here and we're talking about all these, talking about your dream pretty much, and you're living it. But you're also from where we grew up, and we know our neighbors, we know who all our peers were and the families that grew up in the hood. But you were able to find your passion and chase it, and sort of, you became South Auckland to the world. So, are you able to sort of unpack, maybe talk about your upbringing? So people get an understanding of, okay, he's just like us.
Yeah.
And then we'll go into, what was the
Yeah, so I grew up, my parents, my father was an overstayer and he met my mom here, and then they had me, so they had to get married, Islander ways, and I grew up in the Methodist Church, Otahu Methodist Church out there. It's also named Beulah. I was born on the name, it opened. On the day it opened, that's why I was named Beulah. We just grew up in a house down at Dawson and lived there my whole life growing up, and it was a normal South Auckland upbringing, it was happiness. Like the street was a village. It's rare to see now, especially traveling the world, to go, alu faleo le ngale mai se suka, see if they got some sugar or alisa, and it's rare to see that in the world that we have now. And we didn't have much. We were poor, and I went to Chapel Downs Primary. Yeah, and then the bus was right in front of my house to go to Howard Intermediate, so I got to feel Flash for 2 years. But then when a couple of times the year where we didn't have enough money for the bus to get home or there, we had to walk back, do that 3-hour, 4-hour walk back home from Howard, and then I went down to Tangaroa College. But yeah, I guess it was a pretty standard upbringing. We didn't have much. We were always hustling for lunch money or food, and there were many nights where we had no dinner, and there were many nights when we had no food. But those are, I always hate playing the victim thing, because I always try and look at that as a gift. Yo. Those were character building moments where I was like 15 years old, and we were going through the recession, and I was like, maybe I need to leave school to go find a job to help my father out. And I remember asking those honest questions. I'm the eldest of six of my family, 4 brothers, 1 sister, and then later on I just started acting, and then I guess a big pivotal moment in my life was when my hero left. My father, he left my family. He just went to work one day and just didn't come back. He'd been having an affair with another woman. But that was a pivotal moment because it meant that I had to become the father of my family at the age of, I think, 22, 21, and try and figure out how to hustle money to pay a mortgage and pay for my siblings to have some lunch in school and all that stuff. And I remember there's a lot of pressure. And those are moments that still rock me now, but add to my craft in a weird way. And it gives me a sense of drive. And being at rock bottom was a normal feeling for me. So and I think it's a normal feeling for most of us that grow up in areas that aren't very looked after by the system. So having my back against the wall is like comfortable in a weird way, and it's I guess it helps me in my career because I always want to chase uncomfortable. Like when I'm in a job, when I'm in Shortland Street or stuff, like as soon as I get comfortable, I leave because I feel like, I know how I have to chase the uncomfortable feeling, and then when I get over it and get over that fear, I got to look for the new uncomfortable, and then without knowing, as a kid I was just chasing that feeling, but as an adult that's just called growth. Character. But as a kid I knew that I didn't know what it was called or what it was, but I just knew that that feeling, I have to do that thing until I'm not scared of it, because I was used to not having food. So me and my friends would go do the bakery shop, or we'll go steal a couple of shoes on people's doors, because we had to survive. So it was always that thing that I still have with me now, where as soon as I'm comfortable, even at the highest levels, I'm out because I figured it out, and I'm not here to muck around, and I gotta go get scared again.
Jeez, man, Beulah, man. Cool. I love about that, Beulah, because a lot of people love being comfortable. Yeah, some people can be.
It's understandable.
You're right. I think even for a lot of men, regardless of what kind of creed or race or whatever religion, I think a lot of men kind of feel like, where they're in a place where they're real content, complacent, and I'm comfortable in their comfort zone, and they just like to be in that place it could be for weeks, even months, or even years.
Yeah.
But I love the fact you're saying, hey, I don't want to be comfortable. I love, obviously you heard the saying, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And for you to say that, because it's hard for some people to get out of that comfort zone, but for you, because of what your lived experience and so forth, all the hardship, you're right, the building character and so forth, you're so used to be, okay, now it's time to move. I'm just wondering, with your roles and so forth, with Hawaii 5 and all that, was it like, okay, I've done this, now I need to do something else? It's just
man.
Kind of keep progressing. I love it.
The guys the guys on the show Hawaii 5-0, I've done the same with Shortland Street as well. Like I done a couple and I was like, what is it? And I'm just this youngin', man. From Shortland Street I was 20 years old, and after like 6 months I was like, I'm done. And those guys are on there, was like, what are you talking about, kid? Like, what are you gonna go do? I was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna go try and make it in America. And they're like, well, good luck, you have to do it this way and this way. But I remember seeing the people on the show and going, well, you guys have been here for ages and not all of you guys are happy, so what's the point of me staying here forever, so I'd rather go see what it's like anyway. And same thing with Hawaii 5-0. After 3 years, I was like, cool, I learned what I needed to learn and I loved the show. It was the best. I got to run around and shoot guns and pretend to be a Navy SEAL and live in Hawaii, but I was comfortable, and I told my agent, I was like, you need to figure out a way to get me out of the show because I'm comfortable. And I'd tell some of the actors who'd been, doing that for ages, and they're like laughing at me. What are you talking about? It's the most money you ever made and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, but I'm like, we're on different like paths. Like I have to keep pushing. Like I can't settle here because I know what I want to try and be, and I know that my ancestors didn't come to New Zealand for nothing. They kept pushing, to jump on that plane and come here, to get dragged out from the police back home and to figure out a way to come back. It was like, we just always had that dog mentality of figuring out the next step. So I'm afraid of it, but I'm not afraid to take the step into the unknown. Like I enjoy that, and I always prepare myself to be like, I know it's scary, but you're used to that feeling and just be comfortable. And my faith plays a big part in that. Faith in God and faith in myself and self-belief. Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Because
that's
me.
Cool, man. That's cool, man.
Because like I understand the always pursuing the uncomfortable, and because that's where growth is. But you're in the industry that you're quite new to, and you got all these voices, and you got old heads telling you, man, this is how you should be done. What makes you like? What's going through your head when you're like, thinking? Like what drives you when you're like, shut up, you don't know my path, or I don't know.
Yeah, because it's the same thing, just different levels. Like, it's crazy because growing up as a kid, I was robbing houses with my cousins at 11, and I remember going, I think I'm going to change, and my cousins were like, nah, you stay here. So every time these guys, so that's 11-year-old Beulah and 20-something-year-old Beulah in Hawaii, these guys saying, you should stay here. I still see my cousin just being like, nah, because then like that kid always said, nah, I'm going to just move on to the next step. So it's just something I was familiar with. So I feel like no matter how high I make it, that kid will always lead that way. It's the kid, the young Beulah that was just refused to say no. That kind of always says it's like an automatic reaction in a weird way, because same thing on 5 hours. Like, well, I've seen this conversation play out many times, just in different manners, in my life, and I need to move on and try something different. And that's why when you see my films, they're all over the place. Like, they're like you got a real like serious film, then you got a real like dark comedy film, and you got a film that you're barely in. It's just like, because I'm trying things that are different. I don't want to be one type of actor. I want to change the game, and in order for me to do that, I have to show everyone that I can do everything.
True, man.
Yeah.
And it feels like you are changing the game,
Yeah.
Beulah, because you kind of your versatility is playing out. People can say, oh, because some people think, oh, yep, you just play this one character. You just this is the mold. And then in Hollywood, oh, this is your role here. You be the funny guy for every movie. You just be the similar character. But I've seen a lot of your films, and you play different characters, and which tells us that you're quite versatile. But also, in terms of you kind of going against the grain, because that's because people would have thought you were crazy. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like Hawaii Five-0. This is a lot of money, man. What are you doing? You're gonna go now? You're just gonna leave? Are you crazy? Shortland Street, man.
Yeah.
And you're right. There's been characters in Shortland Street that've been there for years.
Yeah.
You think, oh, like yeah, no. Dr. Warner.
Yeah, that's my guy, Michael Galvin. I love him as well, man. He's a great. He looked after me on that show, man. He's the man.
But you're right. And the thing is, you go against the grain. You're not the kind of, people kind of just stay there, just fit that mold. But it has to be something that's for you to kind of just, like you were saying, for you to kind of swing that way. Like, no, I just want to keep evolving, keep progressing.
Yeah.
Is it got to do with your kind of the hardship you faced when Dad left? What?
Yeah. Nah, it started way younger than that, man. It started literally when I was a kid. Like, it was just always, like, I guess I was the small islander, and I always just had something to prove and had a chip on my shoulder. And, like, same thing in school. Like, I was a nerd in school. Like, I'd done everything. I was vice captain of the Fresh 15, vice head boy. I was in the debating group. I was doing drama. I was doing everything, like, just mainly because of competition. All you needed to do was someone, like, I was a nerd because I wanted to beat my mate, Joe Aloli Fialawai. And get the most awards, and I made a bet with him at year 9. It's like, let's see every year who can get the most awards. Like, I didn't enjoy school, like, academic wise, but I was forced because every year I was like, I'm gonna get more prizes than this guy. And then I just ended up being a nerd who was very good at sport. I was just always trying to be good at whatever I put my mind to. And I guess when I found the thing that when I chose acting, and I used that gift that God gave me, I was just like, oh, like, there's no one that can. I have to tell myself in a weird way that I'm the best. It's not weird to me, but I guess it looks weird to the world that I had to go, for my sake, for my family's sake, I had to go, I'm the best in the world at this, and I have to make mistakes, So a lot of those films that I do different things on, like, a lot of them, man, I'm mudding, but I enjoy making that mistake, because I would hate myself 10 times more if I didn't take the step, rather than making the mistake in front of. And I made that mistake and fallen on my face many times in front of millions of people. And people would laugh at me at work, and I'd just be like, yeah, but did you take the risk?
Yeah.
No, that's what I say. I was like, cool, then don't talk to me, because I took the risk.
Yeah, hard up.
And I learned something that you will never know because you didn't take it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
100%, man. That's so true.
That's cool.
Taking the risk, man.
I'll probably touch on faith after, but sort of go back to, because you mentioned that. Yeah, and, like, I loved how that was your hero. You went and never came back. What?
I was just talking about it with my brother today. I was like, Sully, is Dad coming back with the milk? It's just, it's just all you do now is just laugh about it on the family chat. But yeah, man, the man he just went and never came back. And then that's been a long process.
Yeah.
I don't know what you wanted to ask around that, but
yeah, because, man, yeah, how do you feel about that?
yeah, how do I?
Has he been back?
Did it affect you?
Did he come back?
Has it affected you?
Oh yeah, it's destroyed me. It's made me back up. Then it's destroyed me again and made me back up and destroyed me 100 times.
And still processing it.
It's a process of forgiving, and going, oh no, I didn't forgive him, and then forgiving again, and so it's kind of like it's been a roller coaster. It's probably one of the turning points of my life and my family's life for that, because my whole life I never had good male role models. Like, most of the male role models in my life were terrible. Yeah. My dad was the hero, and then he ended up, not becoming the hero. So it's just that's kind of like my trigger when my male role models let me down. I kind of go to a very dark place. But yeah, it's ruined me, bro. Like, I guess the last conversation I had with my father, it wasn't great. But I need to be better for the sake of my children. You know, I need to be better with that, because I don't want that negative energy going towards my kids. And everything for me is for my kids, you know, for my kids and my wife. So I mess up so many times in terms of things with my dad, but it always has to come back to what type of man do I want to show my kids, you know, how to be, you know. And it's a tough question, man. And I'm honestly, bro, I haven't figured it out, but it's at least I'm asking myself to take some of those risks to be like, all right, you need to be honest with yourself and start figuring it out, and you know, just seeing. I know what a broken heart looks like, you know, when I look at my mom, you know, that's all I need to. I know what it looks like when I see my mom. I was like, that's a broken heart, and decisions in life, and that have made me see that. But same again, when I take it, I use it as a positive, because I have to. Because if I use it as a negative and become a victim of it, it just goes down. So I have to use it as a positive. So use it for my work, use it to try and inspire my siblings to become better people, better humans, better driven people, and chase for more things for themselves and for each other. And yeah, it's tough, man, but I enjoy tough. Yeah.
Jeez.
And not only that, because there's the added pressure of being the eldest.
Yeah.
And you got, you know, at a time when you're only 20.
Yeah.
And you had to like take the lead.
Yeah.
And you got 5 siblings looking up to you.
Yeah.
How tough was that, man?
Oh, that's pretty rough, man. That was a very dark time. But it's crazy because God works in crazy ways, because that happened at the exact same time I got my first DreamWorks movie, that Thank You for Your Service. And I was playing one of the lead roles of Miles Teller, you know, he's a massive, and I needed to be dark. And I was like, well, you caught me at the perfect time, you know, like literally, because they would be on set, they'd be like, where the hell are you from, kid? And I was like, if I told you what I'm going through right now, you wouldn't believe me. But let's just call action and capture it. Wow. You know, so it's that was a journey, but God's timing, man, is another one of those things where it's just like, it just all works out in a good way, where I have to use that negative to become a positive. And looking after my siblings. And I guess it was, if I needed to push through, and it's kind of something that I do with myself, like I'm never trying to save South Auckland. Because it's too hard. It's too hard to do that. You know, I used to try and do that, and I'm never trying to. Now I'm older, I realize because I used to try and save my siblings and force them to become people. It's like, nah. All I need to do is be the best version of me, and if my siblings see me and go, I come from the same gene pool as that guy, I can do it. Same thing as the people in South Auckland. If they see me killing it and succeeding it and still being the person I am, hopefully that makes them go towards the water, you know, instead of me trying to drag everyone in. It's kind of like during that time I was like, I just got to win. I just got to walk through that door by myself and hopefully trust that they see the light and come with me. And
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oos, man. That's beautiful, man. Because you're right. You're absolutely right, Beulah. You know, sometimes we see I can appreciate your honesty around your dad and your family and the hardship you've had to go through. But you're right. I think sometimes we want to be the savior for our people. We want to save our family, our friends. Come on the journey with me. Let's go together. This is I got this pathway here for you and this avenue. And many times a lot of people are like, nah. I got my own pathway. I got my own avenue, and we do try to do that. Even in the brink of they're going the wrong way, man. You can see it. You can see them going down this path of destruction. But I love what you said, because you can't force people to do that. You can't force, and in terms of men, you can't force them. You have to be the example. You have to be example of like, okay, if words are not gonna work for you, then my actions is gonna supersede my words. And you have, because man, look at you doing. Because there's a lot of brown faces on TV now. And I love that movie. Thank you for your service. I loved you on that, man. And we just finished watching Maverick, Top Gun. We saw Miles Teller, and I said, "Hey, that's right, Miles Teller, Beulah acted with him." And you're a prime example of someone who's like, "Hey, I'll put my hands up. I'll stand in the gap, and I'll just do what I need to do. The best version of who I am." And I can guarantee you, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Hey, if Beulah can do it, then I can do it. He's from the hood. He's one of us. Man, I can do this." And bro, you are. You said it before. You're changing the game. You are changing the game, Moose. Regardless if you know or not, if you think so, but you are, because you make us proud. Because I'm sitting here like, man, give me an autograph, man. Like, it's exciting. It's exciting times, not for all of us, but more so for you being here. And I think a lot of men out there need to listen to what you're sharing, what you're saying, because you taking risk. A lot of men need to do that, taking risk, not or afraid to take a risk. You being the example, a lot of men need to be an example. Also, man, salute you for those words, man, and for the strength to just push through, man. It's awesome, awesome, mate, Charles.
Yeah, because there's lessons to be learned in terms of like the mindset, because so many of us that from the area want to be that savior. There's so much pressure. You see so many people burn out, and I love what you said in terms of, man, if you become the best version of yourself, people will follow that. Because we'll always fail. We're human. There'll be times where like we want to be the guy, and then everyone's looking, and then when you end up falling from grace, everyone's like, oh
Yeah.
But you're just trying to be the best you. There's less pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
But it's an example as well that you're just being you. And so that's cool. That doesn't mean.
Cool. It just is what it is, you know?
Yeah,
It's just you learn.
But some of these things that you've shared, like, it seems like it's a different perspective. So it must be something higher than you. Like, I don't know. How much does that faith element play in it?
Yeah, faith is massive in my life. Faith is the leader, but it's in a weird way. It's my own secret. You know, it's something that I hold to myself. Like, I grew up in the church, and I grew up in Samoa Methodist Church, and there are times where I almost got exiled by the whole Samoa, because I'm named after the theological college. And I called out pretty much the whole Samoan Methodist congregation and put a post when I was on Shortland Street about, you know, because we were eating, what was it? We were eating like tin cans for like weeks, man, because my parents gave thousands of dollars that we didn't have to the congregation. And I just put up a post because I was angry, because I was starving. You know, I was on a TV show making money, and I was still starving. And the whole church came after me. And my relationship with church and God went in a weird way, but I didn't ever lose a relationship with God. It was just my conversation with Him by myself. That's when I learned. I was like, oh, He's just in my heart, and I was like, and I don't need to tell anyone. And one of my good mates, Beulah Koale, he's a Tongan guy who goes out and helps talks with rugby players and stuff, and he was kind of like my spiritual advisor when I traveled the world, you know, everywhere I went. And still now to this day, I give him a call, we pray and we talk about God, and he'll give me confidence that I could be in this world that's pretty dark. The acting industry is a pretty dark world, and God is not talked about a lot in this world, which is all good, you know. So it was kind of something that I just keep to myself, and I just like, this is my own little candle that I have in my heart. And same thing with my family. Like, my mom's always like, you know, and I'm like, nah, my church is in my kids' room, 7:30 at night, when I sit there and I do our prayer just for us three. You know, me and my sons, and that's when we have our relationship with God. And and that's just something I just keep to myself. And people who know, and there was like, how, because I get work in the weirdest ways where it's not conventional, And then I just laugh. I'm like, if you know, you know. If you know, it's all good. It's all good. And people who know, they know. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. So that's my relationship with my faith in God. Yeah.
But that's the key, Beulah. It's the relationship with God. And I love it that because some people could they may make it to whatever, Hollywood or whatever, and think, well, ngaro fo le. Yeah, but, it's just, but you say, hey, my faith is still there. I still pray with my kids and so forth.
No one needs to know about it.
Yeah.
And bro, if anything, bro, it's stronger than it's ever been in my whole life. And no one knows. No one knows. Not even my mom. My mom thinks I don't go looking. I'm like, Mom, trust me. It's the strongest it's ever been in my life.
Oh man, that's so cool though. And and you said it because you're saying it's stronger because, and like you said, when you know, for the blessings, like you're saying, some of the parts that you get, it's real unconventional. And but for you, I can imagine you saying, hey, I know, it's God. God's given me the opportunity to have this part or to play this character. Oh man, that's awesome, man. And so if you, obviously God is a big part and your faith is with you. So some of the different roles you play out in Hollywood, has there been a time where you feel like, I don't think I can play this role? Has there ever been an instance?
That happened in New Zealand, man. You know, and
You used to play the third devil.
I see the third devil. Then I look at the audience, I see my uncle is hung out. I'm like, there he is, mate. There he is. He's walking right through the doors right now. I think I know God gave me this gift. And God gave me this gift because I can act. And I'm going to use it to play any character that's put in front of me. Whether it's the devil, whether it's not, because I know who I am. And that's all good. And I just tell these stories and try and find the truth. When I was coming up and I was in Shoreland Street, I'd done this show called Black Faggot. It was a Victor Roger show, who's this amazing Samoan playwright who writes a lot of stories about the gay community as well, an island gay community. And I was a Christian boy, man, from Methodist Church, and I was like, nah, there's no way I'm going to do this show. But Paul Mangasiva, who is my idol, he told me he's going to do this play, and we're both on shorties, and then ended up when I signed the contract, he's like, Sully, I'm not doing it. I was like, I signed the contract, dudes. What are you doing? So I done the show. But it was amazing because it opened my eyes to that world and the love and the love for people. And I have this one cousin, my cousin Gary, who's in my family, and he's gay. And my family looked down on him on my father's side and didn't appreciate it. And I just told him, I was like, hey, I'm doing this show. No one knows about it, and I want you to come. No one in my family knows. He goes, why are you doing this? He goes, because I want you to know that I love you and someone in your family loves you. And he's older than me, and I still have a great relationship with my cousin. And he came, and he brought his friends, and I'll never forget the look on his face when I done this show, and I carried that, and I loved that show. That show took me to Edinburgh. Took that show to Edinburgh, traveled the world, played 12 characters, and my perspective on the world just grew, It was nothing bad. I was just like, this craft helped me see the world in a different light, while still being who I am. I didn't lose who I was, but I got to tell other people's stories, and I got to see their perspective and find a way to honor it and find a way to show my cousin who's gay that I love him. And I love that he's gay, and I don't care. I was just like, man, this love beats everything. It literally beats everything. So, I guess those are things that I was scared of in the early days. But doing that character, open up, was like, I can do anything, man. You can put anything in front of me. If it's a challenge, if anything, it makes me go, I feel like I can't do that. Now I have to do it until I figure it out, because it goes back to the being attracted to fear, me. So, I'm not really scared of.
Hopefully the Jesus part role comes up.
Jesus comes in and he's like, it's the darkest Jesus I've ever seen.
They should know that Jesus is Samoan.
Jesus has brown skin, fashionably correct.
Wow.
Yes. I loved you're sharing because there's that scripture that says you're in the world but not of it.
Yeah.
And so you're exercising that in terms of like being in the industry, but you're not of it, and you're just sort of like no one knows, but you're shining this light and
secret.
Yeah, that's so cool. So
Yeah.
so mad love for that. And man, what would be your dream role? Do you see yourself being a Marvel hero? Or?
Nah, man, I played it with Miles Teller, that first one. Thank you for your service.
Oh,
like I always wanted to do. I was, when I was young and coming up, I was always like, I always want to do a big dramatic role where I'm like the lead. And then my first job was there.
So
And they're like, head off, and I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. We got to try and go up from here, And I felt like I killed that. Like I gave that everything, because of what I was going through. And I guess there's no dream role. I just hope to be challenged. I hope to be, with every role that I take on, I hope to be challenged, and I hope to learn something new.
Yeah.
I hope to be scared. I hope to have the fear of God in me when I get a role. Like when I played Ice in Panthers, surely I was scared out of my... Like,
Why?
because I've never played a villain, and I've never played like... I didn't see him as the villain, like someone like that.
But you killed him.
Yeah,
man.
no, but the fear drove that, because I was like, I prepped like for months in Finland, and I was talking to Tom Hearn and Noah Finau, the writers and producers, and I was just talking to them, and I went pretty method with it, because I wanted to leave no stone unturned to tell the story, because I was so scared that I was like, I don't have what it takes to be the bad guy. And I was just like, all right, that's fear. Now we need to figure a way to shut that voice up and not be scared of it anymore. And I feel like we achieved it. I achieved that with the help of everyone, and with I almost have to have a mission with each project now. Like with that one, that was automatic, man, that job, because I was doing that for my auntie. My auntie just lives down the road from here, down in Paptoy. When I asked her, I was like, hey, were you there during the Dawn Raise? And she was just like, yeah. It just happened. And just the way she said it destroyed me.
Wow.
Because she said it with such a softness. But I could see that there was so much there in her eyes. And I was like, I'm going to kill this role for you, auntie. And to honor her and to honor those people, the people that come before us. That's the reason why I'm here. The reason why we're here in these positions is being an actor now, especially a Polynesian actor, coming up. And I hope to say this to the other Polynesians coming up in the industry. Please don't ever forget who came before you. Because I feel like that's important. Like for us to get these roles and to tell our stories, people had to make sacrifices for that. Some people didn't get roles till like they were 30. You got kids coming up, 15, 14, getting roles, and I hope we never forget the people who came before us, the people who came before them, who jumped on the plane to come to this country, people that came before them, who were on the boats voyaging around, telling our stories. It's something that, even when I talk about it now, I'm like, sure, my ancestor somewhere was a storyteller, because that's, my heart burns when I talk about that. So I always want to honor that and honor those people before us. Yeah.
Well said also. Because I could imagine, and you're spot on, because I could imagine you make it to the big lights, the bright lights, and then you said earlier, sometimes, you didn't lose yourself. You didn't lose yourself in the hype and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I can imagine it's easy to kind of lose yourself in the hype. Oh, I did this feature film. Oh man, I'm famous. I'm getting all these roles, different roles, and people can lose themselves. But I love that you're saying, hey, don't forget who you are. Don't forget your culture. Obviously, you're proud. Obviously, we know you're 100% proud of your Pacifica roots. And so, when you're out there filming and so forth, do they kind of like, hey, what's your background? They must like, hey, are you Chicano? Are you Mexican?
Yeah.
And so, how important is that for you when you everywhere you go into your Pacifica roots, or more so your Samoan roots?
I pretty much lay it on hard in any production that I come into straight away. I let them know who I am, because it's more for me, so I feel comfortable. I let them know my name. Like almost every production I go to, if it's not at the beginning of the day, it's at the end of the day. where I ask for 2 minutes of the cruise time and I get, over hundreds of people to come together and I just introduce myself to them and I say who I am, where I'm from, why I'm here, how I got here. And I usually give them my school haka or I plant it. I was like, here's my respect to you. You can either give me back respect or not, but before anything, I will give you my utmost 100% respect to the crew. And that's who I am. And then I sing a song or someone or something and that's pretty much it. And that kind of like sets the tone for my journey and lets people know, oh, this is who this kid is. Because I don't ever want them to get confused of who I am, So people aren't allowed to mistake what nationality I come from because I almost force it upon them.
That's cool.
Yeah, who I am. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's special because what you say when you go into the studio and so forth, you telling these guys, can I get 2 minutes of you telling all these like the cast members, and just hey, director, producer,
everyone, the crew.
Man,
Yeah.
Man, that's ballsy, man. Because you know how we like as Pacific Islanders, I'm in the midst of all these actors.
Yeah.
Just keep it humble.
Yeah,
bro, that's ballsy, man.
Nah, man, because it's a power. It's a power. Like people, and I hope our people know that who we are. What you are is a powerful thing, and I hone that. Like I take that, and when I bring it to the crew, I'm just the whole time I'm shitting myself. Like I'm scared. I'm like, I gotta talk in front of hundreds of people again and do this. But I have the confidence in going, I'm about to drop my ancestors on you, And it's just like boom. Like once I do that, and if people are usually emotional, and I take that. And I bring them in and I say, hello, cool, well, my name's Beulah, nice to meet you. And that's it. When you do that, man, when I laid the foundation like that on every project, and I'm like, cool, that's how I honor my people. They kind of like cover me, they kind of remove the fear. I'm like, I just dropped my ancestors on you, now try and get through that to get to me and try and, so, yeah.
That's quite powerful, man.
So it is, man. So straight off the bat, like from the get-go, man.
I try to at the beginning or the end of the first day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can imagine the respect. It's kind of like mutual respect that you kind of say, hey, this is who I am, straight from the get-go, and then they're like, oh man, and then you're right. There's no mistake. Oh no, he's not Puerto Rican or Mexican. This is
that guy's a
Samoan.
Polynesian.
He's Samoan. He's Polynesian. Man, I love it, man. And I love it because and we were as HRs, we were like, no, I'm in this different space, respectful. We kind of play the humble and the quite quiet, but you just go there with just both hands on the on the scruff of it, and just hey, this is who I am, man.
It's not arrogance.
No,
it's
respectful.
Yeah.
It's like I give you. This is how my people show you the most respect, pretty much bow down to you, and when you give people love, they have no other option unless they're a dick to not give you love back, So when you started off with love and respect.
Yeah, that's true.
That's encouraging because, that's quite a normal custom that we do amongst our community.
Yeah.
But to take that into a different context, man, that's massive. And so that's, man, I'm quite encouraged. Like,
man.
Doesn't matter what space we go into, man, we keep our roots and show who we are. I'm gonna
I like that, man. Because you're doing a pepeha in front of them. Just tell them. And was there any like cast members who were dicks when any cast members who were like, you felt like, hey, you're disrespecting my space? Who I am? Was there anything like that? Or
nah, man, because like if anything, I gained the respect. I gained their respect, and like Hawaii 5-0, like that off the bat, I'm a nobody from New Zealand, but after that, they were like, who the hell is this kid? And and it became like I skipped through a bunch of levels to try and get to best friend mode. I was like, I went straight to the top, mate, to try and figure out, and the relationship started from there, and yeah,
it's cool. We talk about heroes, those who came before us. Are there any heroes in the industry that sort of you really look up to?
Yeah, Paul Mangasiva is one of my. He is my hero. I named my son. He's 2 months now. He's got his name in him. You know, he was my hero growing up, and before I wanted to be an actor, and then getting to act with him and ending up becoming one of his, good friends and with his family and stuff. That's my hero. Nathaniel Lees is another one.
Yeah.
He's one of those Samoan actors that they didn't have roles for Samoans. He had to play Māori a lot of the time, or other nationalities, Mexican, or so anyone that came before us is Anapala, all those Robbie Mangasiva, all those guys are big heroes to me, and then my grandfather, someone in my family who. He was my first storyteller when he would sit there and we'd watch the Hunting Aotearoa hunting show on Māori TV, and then he would tell me in Samoan about his hunting stories. And he would tell me why this finger was crooked and how that pig, and I remember just looking as a kid going, whoa, this guy's stories are pretty cool, yeah.
That's me. Because, there's that saying that we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, and your people you're watching now, or there's these younger generators, this younger generation. One day someone's gonna be standing on your shoulders, and someone's gonna go, man, that was my hero.
Yeah,
he did it like this. So, Sharuso, man, just quite inspired.
Cool.
Yeah, man, it's inspiring.
Should get back into acting, us.
No. But it is inspiring, Beulah, and like you don't mind if we kind of talk about Pua. You're good to talk about Pua?
Yeah. Talk about peace.
You're rest in love to the huso, and so obviously with what happened with Pua, with the huso, does some of that remnant still kind of stick with you before that what had happened?
And everything, yeah. I carry him through almost every project.
Yeah,
I honor him. I got these glasses because it's shaped like his glasses.
Wow.
Like I'm so influenced by him. Like I think about him almost every day, and I miss him. But I also celebrate him.
Yeah.
I celebrate him with his family, with his close friends. I see his daughter all the time, just around randomly. And same thing, I try and make a negative into a positive and figure out how to honor him. And I put him, there's no way my family's ever going to forget him because he's in my son's name. Mason James Beulah Koale. James is my brother, my younger brother, who's a hero. So Mason's my son's name. James is my brother. Beulah is my hero. Koale is me. My son just needs to fill up that first name and make that his own. His own. Cool. But the rest of his name is full of daddy's heroes.
Wow.
That was a tough time.
Yeah.
For everyone, but we work through it and we figure out how to fix that and how to listen there for other people.
Yeah.
Who are going through. And I'm the same, man. I go through mental health problems constantly, all the time. And I'm constantly trying to talk to my wife, constantly trying to talk to my friends, and figure that out for myself. Mental health is real, man. It's a real thing that it's invisible. It's invisible, but it's a real thing that you need people to talk to. I don't know the complete answer, but for me, I have to just call into my close friends, my close circles, and talk to them. Not even my wife, bro, because my wife doesn't get it in that way because she doesn't understand. She grew up on the North Shore. I grew up out south. She doesn't understand that trauma, but my wife is good at just reminding me things. But the people who have been through it will understand that, and those are the safe conversations and safe spaces that I have with people in my close circle.
It's cool
when I'm not feeling good. Just yesterday, I was talking to my best mate Dom, who's an actor as well, and he was just like, "Well, good G, I know you're in a little spot." I was like, "Yeah, I think I am. We need to catch up." It's those little things, and I do the same for him. And yeah.
Yeah, that's
Shock
cool.
also. thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Man, because it's as men, especially as poly men, it's hard to navigate that space in terms of mental health. And days that came before us was like, you're not supposed to express yourself. You're supposed to like harden up and carry on, and so you sharing that, learning to understand and reach out to those who are close to you and that you feel safe. These are tools that we need and to normalize. And so, when I'm thinking about, the term self-care, what does that look like for you?
Self-care, training. Like for me, that's my meditation. I've done this. I just finished this movie where we had to do a bunch of meditation. It's kind of like a meditation movie, and we had to do like 3 days of meditation and sitting there. And it wasn't really for me, but I done it. But I was like, my meditation is training, and training hard, where I go to dark spaces, where I train to like Bryan Adams and Celine Dion, like slow jams in a weird way. Like I enjoy training to slow jams, and just pushing myself, where I go to a dark space and I dance around in there. My endorphins are kicking off, and also it's just conversations with my friends, like I said, and like saying I love you is massive. Like I forced that on top of to my brothers. Like when I left my mom's house today, the youngest out of us, he's 14, and I was like, I love you, bro. And he's like, who? I was like, I love you. Remember, it's all good to say I love you. He's like, oh, I love you. And the same thing with my father-in-law. He's a very staunch man, but I always end our conversation with I love you. Because for some reason, when it comes back from a close man that you love and that says it, it hits different. And it kind of is like, whoo. So, and it also reminds me, it's like, yeah, cool, you got to tick that box every time you, so yeah, for a weird reason, saying I love you to people is self-care. Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
That. Man, I thought I was the only one that was listening, was in the gym listening to slow jams.
Nah, man, we're right there.
How do you guys do it, man?
Right. Everyone thinks I'm sitting there on ground.
Yeah.
That, but they don't know. It's like, put on the bed.
Trying to kill it.
Oh,
just
man.
I thought it was killing me bad. I thought it was killing me. Oh, man. But it is, like you said, I love you. It must take people, aback, people, and Charles, eh? Like it is. Because you find it like, I don't know, like even knowing my dad, like I don't think there were, maybe there was sometimes when I say, I love you. But, with our culture, it's kind of like you're saying, yeah, I love you. But I can, so what was the reaction of your father-in-law? I love you. It was like,
It was weird at first because he works at Mount Eden Prison. He's been there for years. He's a very staunch Māori man, and he's my hero. He's an amazing man. Terry Orton, that's my guy. But it's something that I love saying to him, and he says it back in a weird way that's uncomfortable, but he says it, and that's mean for me because I'm like, even though he's uncomfortable, he's forcing himself to say I love you to someone else. And for me, I'm helping change that, to make a man that feels uncomfortable but still say it. And now it's normal. Now I see him say it to my kids. Well, he's always going to say it to his grandchildren, but to say it to another man, or especially your son-in-law, is weird, Same thing with my siblings. When I say it to them, and I always say, I love you, bro, at the end. They're, staunch South Auckland kids, but it hits different when it comes back uncomfortably because I'm like, I'm going to try and make that uncomfortable for you. And that only came from my job, man, luckily enough, learning about feelings and emotions and vulnerability via my job, and then sharing it to my family who were like, bro, what the hell are you trying to do? Be all this. I was like, nah, bro. This is why we're messed up, because we never, this is why we only talk about problems at the wedding when she's like 9 months pregnant. And then we're like, oh, you know, instead of like talking about it from the beginning and having a relationship with the other person, you know, or guiding each other through. And it's something that I try and share with my siblings, you know, like mental health is real for them as well. And I always try and make it a safe space for them, because in the past I haven't. I've been that staunch, tough brother who will come down on the hammer hard on them when they mess up, where what I want to be now, to be better for them, especially my brothers and my sister, is you can approach me at any time. You can talk, you know, just side message me and we can have a conversation, because I would rather have that conversation than be talking at your funeral.
Yeah.
You know? I will always rather, you could never disappoint me enough, you know, I'd rather that conversation than talk at a funeral. So, and it's something that, it's a tough thing to talk about, but I try and make it light, because it doesn't need to be that heavy, because it's not. I have to show them it's not that big of a problem. It just feels like your world is very small now, but I'm the light, mate. Walk towards me and I show you that it's not that heavy, and I help you carry that burden, and we'll figure this out. Then in a couple of weeks, you're going to look back and laugh at it. And then we're going to find the next thing to feel heavy, you know, and that's life. It's finding these moments. Life is moments, finding these moments, figuring out how to go through it, feel it, deep breath and move forward. You know, sometimes it's hard to take in that deep breath and push, but sometimes all you need is just someone that light and be like, hey, I'm right here, buddy. I got you. Let's go together and let's grow, you know. So I'm very proud of my siblings now. Va'a, Murphy, Va'a, Murphy, Lise, Nina, and Milo. Very proud of you guys, and I love you guys for who you are, and the people they're becoming.
Man, word, man. I can guarantee you, Beulah, whoever's watching,
that's powerful.
Yeah, it is. I think I can guarantee people are like, man, I needed to hear that. I need to hear that just to be able to verbalize what's happening inside. You know, and it's not normal for us as men to like kind of, you know, like you said, I love you. You know, we know it in here, like, oh yeah, I love the brother. But for us to verbalize it's a whole different, like you said, it hits different, man. Like, oh, you just actually said it, you know. And so we need to normalize what's happening in here, you know, during the hard times and the tough times. And so for you to say that, bro, because there could be someone watching you like, I need to hear that. I'm going through some real crap right now, and I need to hear that, and I need to, you know, to not feel whakama or feel shame or feel ma, to like, I just need to just chat with someone. And you're right, because sometimes all it is just someone to lend their ears and listen, and like, oh man, I didn't realize it was that bad. When they finally hear what's happening in their head. So man, that's really wise, Oos. No. That's really wise, man.
You know, and I say it not having the answers. You know, I say it going, I didn't listen to my advice sometimes too. You know, sometimes then I get to that dark place and I'm like, I can't reach out. But I still try to persevere and try and push forward and learn the tools that I've learned through life. And the big thing is, for me, is like I always look back. If I feel dark and I can't reach out to people, one tool that I use is I just look back at where I've come from. And I'm like, oh,
that's powerful.
That's not that. I've gone through worse. We can do this, you know. Or if I don't have the guts, that's if I don't have the guts to reach out to my bros. But I just look back, and then I reach out once I get that courage. So
and that's hard, when you're at that, when you're in that spot, when you're feeling dark. Like the last thing you want is to reach out, but if you create a good circle, when people know you well, when you are in the dark spot, and if they're resilient enough to keep on pushing through and be there, even when you don't want them there, it's quite a powerful thing. And I don't think everyone has it, but it's something we can develop in. And I love what you're trying to do. You're just normalizing things, and that comes with confidence in who you are as yourself. Because you know, man, saying I love you to another guy, there's so many connotations with that. Like us growing up, it's like gay. But it's, you know, man. Yeah, I'm like that too. Okay, like do stuff that make people feel uncomfortable. Like
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. That's my brothers now, man. You
What
know?
are you doing?
But when they used to do that and be like, well, gay guy, I'm like, sweet, all good, yeah, quick. I love you and I love you, and just like make it funny and then force them. It's like, yeah, it's not weird. Stop being. It's you that's insecure, not me.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
Yeah.
And that, you know, and even the whole like, you're not a man if you cry. And man, I was a crier, but I used to try to like,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now I'm like, when I do cry, I just let it out and I'll just keep on talking. But I'll be like, yeah, but if you say something to me, I can catch you outside.
Yeah. Straight up.
You can't cry.
To ice. Sorry, I love that role. Anyway,
As long as it's not one of those ugly cries, eh?
Just can't breathe ones, eh?
yeah, hard up. So I just got some, because we're quite live and we've got a massive audience around here. And I just got a message. It goes, one of the questions is like, how are Pacific people viewed in Hollywood in the world?
How are Pacific people viewed in Hollywood in the world? I feel like Hollywood is just discovering them. I feel like we're discovering them, discovering us.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, Moana and The Rock and all those guys opened the door. Jason Momoa opened the door for all of us. But I feel like, to be honest, Hollywood still sees the hula dresses and the nice dancing tattoos, and they haven't seen the real stories yet. You know, they haven't seen the stories that we see here in New Zealand, you know. So I feel like they're a couple of years behind, and I can't wait until they, you know, now they're slowly enjoying the nice island, the dance, the music, and fun, happy smiles. But I can't wait for them to come see the real stories about our people and what we go through. It's just exactly the same as them. You know, I can't wait for Hollywood to cast leading role characters for big movies as a Pacific Islander, because they go, oh, he's exactly the same as us, not because of diversity. You know, I can't wait for that. Cool. So I feel like they're a couple of years behind, but it's me being at the beginning of this voyage to show the world who we are and show the world that who my ancestors were. And I can't wait for the next generation and hopefully the generation after that to see that. So I feel like, to answer the question, they're just at the beginning right now. They wait till they touch the real stuff and get shocked. You know? So yeah.
And it's an exciting time, because we the Pacifica musical just came out.
Yeah.
And just seeing that at the Civic.
Yeah.
And just thinking, man, this can be shown to the world. And,
Yeah.
But then you're right, there's these other stories, that untold stories. That, man, I look forward to that. Imagine, you know how we got Black Panther and that blew up. That became number one. Imagine something that was our story,
We have those. We have that in our history. We have those stories. That's what I'm talking about. It's like we have those legendary tales that each island has their own tale about how the world was created, or the gods before them, or how the wars or the conflicts between islands, and how Tonga was the king of Samoans, you know. So we have all those great stories, and I can't wait for them to jump into that old stuff, but then also the new stuff, who we are now as Polynesians, the world that we grew up in, the generation after the Dawn Raid, you know, our generation. I can't wait I feel like New Zealand's still trying to discover that properly now.
True.
You know? So once we figure that out, and then we learn how to show it to the world, you know, we're gonna be a superpower over there.
That's me.
Yeah. Because we like you're saying, we're natural storytellers, eh? Natural entertainers. Yeah, you look at The Rock, you look at Dwayne Johnson, natural storytellers, when he used to cut those promos in WWE. Bro, he's just the man. I was like, and you can tell that's the Samoan side there, man.
The mocks,
just
years of mocks.
Just brilliant, man. But like further on in your career, Beulah, is there anything like in terms of kind of you're looking at? Oh man, I would love to direct a feature film or
I will direct, and I say I will because I have to manifest it for myself. It's not something that I want to. It's like I will. I'm gonna have a production company with my best mates, you know, and we're gonna tell not just Pacific Island stories. gonna tell everyone's stories.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna run it through our company, and it's gonna be called Running Straight Productions.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's gonna
man.
be me, my best mates, Neil, Dom, Samson, and
Pete and Charles. And
yeah, yeah. And we're just gonna tell a bunch of stories and direct them and make whatever we want. Because there was a Kevin Hart documentary that I saw on Netflix, and he just hired his mates, his best mates, and I was like, I want to do that, but with my best mates, you know, because we got stories. And I was catching up with some of the boys that one of my TC guys' funerals, but I was catching up with. Afterwards, it was all the boys, and I was just watching this, sitting there with my mate Samson Rambo, going, "Bro, everyone's a character here. Eh? Everyone's got a story where we could just take a scene from that and just make a cool short film out of that." And you know, that's what I'm saying. That like we don't realize the power in our lives that we've, you know, because not many people go through what we go through. You know, everyone. That applies to everyone. You know, no one goes through the same thing as anyone else in the world. So. Yeah, I can't wait to tell those stories, and it's just what we need to do is just do it. You know, stop talking about it and do it. And I'm saying that to myself.
That's cool. And I won't be surprised, also, because this whole thing around being uncomfortable and growth. You know, growth happens outside of the comfort zone, and I won't be surprised because you'll be uncomfortable acting. You're gonna want to produce it. So yeah, man, I can't wait. That's exciting.
That's exciting, man. It's kind of like you, like Adam Sandler with his mates. He always gets his mates on his films of Happy Gilmore and all his production. Man, I can see the same thing happening, man. And you're right, like it will happen. You speak it into existence, it's going to happen. And so we look forward to that, man. Oh man, so just get excited, bro. Any roles for
The Rock and Jason Momoa stunt was there.
I knew it. Make sure that turns into a snippet.
I can't wait, man. Next minute. How come we washing dishes? How come we washing dishes out Beulah? How come we sweeping the floor?
I'm gonna say a word,
Yeah.
and you tell me what it means to you. Oh, it's not a word. It's too.
Well, explain or just tell you.
Yeah, what?
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna say South Auckland.
That's my home. I'm in the Brave. That I am the person I am in the world today because of South Auckland. Because of I used to think, and my teacher David Riley told me this. I used to go out and was like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna crack it. I'm gonna get an Oscar, even though I'm from South Auckland. And then he told me, he goes, can you say because you're from South Auckland, you're gonna do that? I was like, bro, that's massive. Yeah. That's powerful, because then I took ownership of that. So yeah, I am the person I am today and will be because I'm from South Auckland. You know, and I hope everyone else sees that, you know, and uses that. It's because you are from the place that you come from, because you are with those struggles, because you didn't have this and that, you're gonna become great because of that. You know, it will teach you everything. There's a character building stuff.
What a what an awesome
Crazy,
teacher, man.
Yeah, David Riley, man.
Props to David Riley.
That's cool. Jamin would have loved that. Tangaro College.
It's the stomping grounds. Yeah, that was. I mean, I came from Howard Intermediate, man. For that crack, I was gonna go to Howard College, and my mom goes, "There's no bus that goes to Howard College." But if it wasn't for that school, I wouldn't be acting. You know, I wouldn't have met David Riley. I wouldn't have met my friends. I wouldn't have gone through the things that I've gone through and seen the different worlds that I've seen in that one little, 5 years at that school. And it's another thing. Every time I come back out south, I always try and go visit. I always try and visit a staff member and go talk to students, because that's me. When I see those students, I'm like, that's me. That was me. I own the school for those 5 years, and people after that. It's like, I never understood remember how those rich, like Auckland grammar in that school, take pride in their hair and they got the little cap things. And I was like, why didn't we ever have that? And we're slowly getting that now, because I feel like we need to own that. We need to own those 5 years that you were there, or however many years, and take pride in that. And the next generation will take that, and I hope we become take pride in that jersey that you put on.
Yeah, me.
You know, at that school.
Me.
Did you see when the national leader, Luxon?
Oh, silly. He said it was from Botany.
Yo,
My
how
mate
did
said
that make
to
you
say-
feel? How did that make you feel?
You know what? I wasn't even angry. I was like, Solid. If we're from Botany, give us some of that Botany money then, you know?
for sure,
I was like, sweet, how do I make this positive? Okay, Mr. Luxon, thank you. Yes, we are from Botany. Can Tangaroa College receive some of that Botany Downs funding that you guys get and that systematic help that they receive? Is like, we would love to receive that since we're from Botany, but all good. I just... I saw a lot of people. I was initially angry, but I was like, "How can I flip this?"
Wow,
so I don't need to feel that anger and help my people. So I hope I get to meet that fella and be like, "Hey, fella, I saw where we're from. Can we just receive a couple more mil just to build this new thing? You know, we just want working toilets, man."
Come on, Botany, man.
Oh, that's cool how you view it, because man, I was Ika and I didn't even go to the school, but I was from the area.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Also, man. Oh, it's just been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, Beulah. Just you sharing and just sharing your heart. I love that, like you were saying, you've gone through a lot of struggles, a lot of hardship, and you still maintain to be positive. I love that you say, hey, because it's hard. I can imagine you're saying, it's hard to be positive when you see everything's quite negative. But for you to kind of flip the script and say, no, just be positive, and to follow through with your positivity, because it's really hard also, especially in the industry that you're in. And it could change someone, but you still stay grounded, you still stay in who you are, your identity in terms of your Pacifica and South Auckland and being Samoan. Also, is there, like, for those aspiring actors out there or actresses out there who want to do what you're doing, what's one key learning that you could kind of give to these aspiring actors?
Yeah, I always tell them the same thing, is know who you are first. And I guess what you described beforehand is, I'm lucky I received that lesson early. I knew who I was and used that as the gift, used that as the foundation. Instead of playing all the different types of characters, your character should come from bits of you in your life, and you can either pick it and blow it up and add research to it, but at least it comes from a real spot, and everything that you've gone through in your life will help you become the actor that you need to be in. No techniques. Techniques, I guess, but there's nothing in a book that's going to teach you how to. Nothing teaches you life. When people go, what school acting did you go to? I was like, life. Life taught me how to act. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, you can sit down and have a long conversation but life taught me how to act.
Yeah, man. Life in White Sunday.
Man. Mate, the third bad sakangi, mate. That's all I got. Sometimes sakayo. Oh, my Lord.
How much is your family a drive for you in terms of what you do and some of the aspirations you have?
Like any island family, man, they're massive.
Yeah.
But if I'm honest, I learned that lesson early as well, and I talk about it before, I have to be selfish, because sometimes I try and throw my whole family on top of my shoulders, and that doesn't help anyone. There's a quote there, and I'm going to misquote it. Someone said that sometimes the doorway to success there's only room for one of you, and I feel like sometimes, especially as Polynesians, we're trying to throw everyone on our shoulders and walk through that door, and we're just coming up to the door and just jarring up against it. And all you need to do is be selfish sometimes, throw them off, walk through that door and let them in one by one once you've cracked it. So that was a massive lesson for me, because I was always trying to push and do it for my family when I wasn't doing it for myself. So you have to first do it for yourself, because then that will be your reason is the family. But if you don't have the drive as an individual, the motivation as an individual, you might as well throw it out the window, because your family they're not going to help you all the time. You know, they're going to not believe in what you're doing. They're going to be, you know, and that's all good because that's how they see what we're doing. But if it wasn't for me, just believing in myself and walking through that door and going, here, Mum, I told you, you know, this thing just took time. You know, let's walk through this door together. And then my brothers, my siblings, my wife, my kids, you know, and that's how they're the driving force for me. Yeah, you know, like they're the reason, but I need myself to motivate myself first.
That's
Oh man.
Yeah.
I love it. Man,
Just some gold in. There's some like, oh bro, shucks. Beulah, it's kind of like you're being selfish, but not selfish, eh? At the same time, eh?
It's
selfless to be selfless.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just something that I learned for myself.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know that.
Yeah. As you were saying that, and I think I might have said it to someone else. It's like a spearhead of an arrow.
Yeah.
Like in order for the rest of the arrow to follow through, you gotta be the person
you gotta be right at the top.
break through, and then everyone else will follow through. So that's cool. You're spearhead for not only yourself but your family and those that come after you. So man, that's cool. What is? Sorry, it was like an interview question.
No, here you go, bro.
Because I just wanna pick your brain, but like darkest moment and proudest moment.
Darkest moment was definitely my dad, and when he left me, and not that moment, but the moments afterwards, where I went into some very dark spaces, where you know I wasn't thinking straight and not thinking too good, and I was in a dark place where I felt like I was alone and I had no one to turn to, you know, and God saved me. My wife's voice in my head saved me from making certain decisions, and what was the next one?
Proudest moment.
Proudest moment was getting out of those moments, you know, was picking myself up and getting out of that and then carrying on my life from those moments and using those as lessons and turning that into a positive. And from those moments came my children, you know. You know, sure, having your kids is a proud moment, but I became a greater man for my sons because of those, getting through those dark times, you know, and now I can be the man I am today for my sons and be the husband I want to be for my wife and see her in a different light because she saved me, you know. So I see her in a different light where if that didn't happen, maybe I wouldn't have seen her like that, you know. So moments after that, moments right after the darkness is where I'm proud because we got out of it. Yeah.
Oh man, that's deep. It is because a lot of people think of the the proudest moment is like, oh yeah, I've achieved this, I've accomplished this, but you saying, hey, just getting out of that darkness. And you said early on, Beulah, that that's life. You know, you get through one struggle, one hardship, and there's always going to be another one across, around the corner. But it's just life. You just get up, all the busyness, all the craziness in the world, and in your own life, in our own lives. But we get up, we go to sleep, we get back up again. We have to do it all over again. And so, just your resilience and your ability to bounce back also that speaks volumes because a lot of our men need to hear that. Including myself and Charles, we need to hear that because we are going to go through some real dark times, but it's just a matter of picking ourselves up and just saying, hey, and looking at it at a different view, like you're saying, okay, and who are the people that I need help from or support from, but also being those individuals to say, hey, oh man, Beulah's going through something, or Charles is going through something, I need to touch base, and instead of them try to, if they can't reach out, but bro, you've just enlightened us all, really have,
And I love something that Beulah highlighted, and it's not commonly discussed about, is how our queens uplift us, because there's a lot of narrative where, oh, it's because of her I'm like this, but man, you went through some of your darkest moments, and it was your partner.
She's always there, man.
There, man.
Always there.
And we need those strong women in our lives because they're like, we have kryptonite, but then we also have someone that's like a superpower for us.
She's a superpower.
So shout out to all our queens. You want to say something to Caroline while you're
Yeah, man. I'm just going through some struggles, but
but she what? Also, you're sitting in front of your 15-year-old self, the young 15-year-old Beulah at Tangaro College. What do you want to say to him?
Experience it all, soak it all up. You're going to be okay. You're going to be safe. And just keep building that character and get ready for the long ride ahead. Because I honestly wouldn't change anything. Because that's all worth it. I'd just be like, just get ready for the ride. It's going to be fun, you know. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be hard. It's going to be what life should be, you know, for every single human in this world. So, and something I always try and remind myself is, remember the kid inside of you. Don't become an adult, you know. Adults are just older kids who know more things, you know. So always be that kid, because that's the playfulness, that's the joy. That's where before any of the troubles, love was there, you know. It was just, nothing was hard, you know. We didn't know we were struggling to make bills, you know. We were just turning up, doing our homework, go play touch with your friends in the street, and life was good, you know. So hold on to that. Remember that kid as you get older. So
just carefree, just carefree, no worries inside. But you know what's really funny, Beulah, and interesting. I find it quite funny because you didn't go to any acting school, all that kind of stuff, and yet, like you were saying, my acting school is life. And I can imagine people like, man, this guy getting all these roles, and I've gone to acting school and so forth. But you're right, and which shows that it just shows the ability that you the talent that you have, and the quality of your talent. Because like you're saying, I can pick things from my life, different bits here and there, and I can just bring it, kind of manifest it and bring it out in the character, whatever character you're in. Which is you're kind of like you're taking. That's what I was saying. You're changing the game, because people are like, I don't have to go to acting school, and then this guy's So,
and I'm not saying acting school is bad. I'm sure it would have helped me, and I'm sure it wouldn't have. You know, I don't know, but God put me on this path, so I'm on this path. A lot of my friends who are successful went to acting school, and they're great, cool, but we just learned the game in different ways, you know. We just experienced it in different ways, and I enjoy acting is about working with another person, looking them in the eyes, and playing a game of, hey, what are you doing? What am I doing? And when you meet different people who have different skill sets, you got to play what's in front of you, and it's always interesting running into different energies and trying to figure out what they're coming with. And if anything, just determination, consistency is the lesson there. You know, whether in your acting school or not in acting school, you just consistently turn up, be professional, consistently put in the hard yards, and be determined to always strive to be the best. You know,
Yeah, man.
That's cool. Because I'm mindful for time, but like, what are some, what do you want to say to whoever's listening? Any encouragement or?
Like I said before, man, like, you know, I'm never trying to put anything, like, I'm sure that you guys took something from what we've already talked about. And whatever you take from it, whatever you don't take from it is right. You know, same thing as when I make art, I'm never trying to preach to you guys. I'm just putting something in front of you, and whatever you have in your head is what is right. You know, there's no right or wrong. If anything, just be you. You know, that's important. People forget. I feel like in this world, there's a lot of confusion, and it's because we don't know who we are. You know, we don't know where we're from. You know, and that's something that I struggle with. Something that I've been asking myself the last couple of weeks, actually. You know, going back to Samoa, because I've only been back twice, and I'm very drop nuts of going back to Samoa because I'm scared with what I'm going to come up against, my dad's family, and not knowing who I am as a Samoan man. Like, I know who I am as a Samoan man in New Zealand, but I was like, I want to go back to the guys that really don't care, you know, and that will tell you, it's like, this is how it is out here. And I feel like if I know that and who I am and are connected to that, my sons will become better people. I will become a better person, you know. Same thing with their Māori side. You know, I hope that they learn all of that, and hopefully we can grow from that in life, you know, and have a solid foundation of who we are, because if not, we're just kind of making it up, and our foundation's kind of like put on something we've made up, you know.
Yeah, wise.
That's
bro.
cool. Sorry, just something came to mind because having this style know of you, there's a strong foundation of knowing who you are. And so my question is, like, if acting finish next week, who is Beulah?
I pray for this almost every morning, and I tell a lot of people, if I die and I'm known as the actor, I failed at life. On my gravestone will be, and I pray every morning. I was like, thank you, Lord, for, you know, another day. I hope that you make me a better man for you, a better husband, a better father, a better son, brother, friend, and then the most sought after actor in the world, and the acting's right down at the bottom.
Wow.
And all of that is kind of like put down into one sentence. I just hope I become a better version of me today, one step at a time. So yeah, Beulah is a man of God. He's a great husband. He's a great father. And he's a great son. Before any of that stuff, I believe in that 100%. And I try to. I'm not always right at it, but it's something that I strive for. You know, I try to make that the first thought I put in my head when I wake up, and just to set my day off and be like, this is who I am. This is how I'm defined. This is how I define myself. You know, and I just keep that to myself. It's my secret that I walk out with the world. You know, so yeah.
And what does that do for you? Like,
it's a mantra.
Yeah,
I guess, to myself. It's a habit that I forced upon myself, just to keeps me steady, keeps me focused. And I know when I skip a couple of days of doing that, I've kind of off kilter. And I come back to that when I feel a little bit off. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't been waking up saying my thing to myself. And yeah, it's something I say to myself. And I have a couple of mantras that I say with my kids, same thing. When I drop them off to school, Isaac and Xavier, they're twins. And I make them say, my name is Isaac, my name is Xavier. I'm loving and caring, and I always try my best. And then I kiss them, then they go into school. It's something that I just say with them, just to help instill that in them, you know, and then that's all I want. So you don't need to kill it, you just need to try your best. But yes, to answer your question, that's who Beulah is. And I try and start off most of my mornings like that, with who I am.
Wow, love that. Also, I say that because a lot of us we sort of chase something, we chase this dream, but that defines who we are. And then when it's taken away from us, right, we feel like
Get lost, eh?
And so hearing you say that and just listening to your character, you can tell that there's something that's keeping you steadfast. And if that was taken away from you, you'll still be here.
Yeah.
It's not who you are, it's what you do, and who you are is what God's created you, and He's given you this gift to use it to show to the world, and it's beautiful. Hopefully, some of the hopefully I've
No, that's clear, man.
Man.
I'm just encouraged. Sorry.
No. I love it. I love what you're saying, Charles, because it's just, I don't know about you, Charles. It's just like when you were saying that, Beulah, just felt like I was in part of a movie or something. You know, just like those kind of inspiring lines, like in a movie.
And none of this is scripted. This is coming from you. Like,
these are just rules I have for myself.
And I love it. People gonna, like, I'm encouraged. Every time I drop off my kids now, shucks. I'm gonna make sure that I, like, you know, give them some of these lessons, but lessons that are not pressuring them. Because I used to have a mentor who was like,
There's a whai kali kali.
If you're not the best, stuff. But it puts so much pressure on them. Like if they miss the mark, then and so hearing you saying what you say, okay, let's redefine some of these things that we say and that we do. Yeah, sorry,
Bro, man. It is Beulah. Nah, we're just proud. We are very super proud of you and the work that you do. And so, bro, thank you for your time. I know we're conscious of time, but just your nuggets and for being open and honest. I know it's like, because you don't know us from a bar of soap. Like, who are these guys? But I think the connection's there. I think we're brothers. We're from the
we're from the same.
Yeah,
we understand, man. Like I could look at you anywhere in the world. I could walk past you. And I feel safe. I was like, oh yeah, there we go. What's up, boss? All good. You know, you come down to my hood, you be like, it's something about that connection with people who know, you know. And then a lot of the times I don't run into that energy, you know, because I'm in an industry where it's not really there, and I get uncomfortable a lot. I just have to tell myself to be like, just figure it out. Yeah, but. Yeah.
So, and I have this,
no, you go. I enjoy it, bro.
Like, because we're really prayerful and strategic on like who we ask to come on here, because we know the audience that we're trying to reach and what we want for our men in our community, because we believe stronger men means stronger families and strong communities. But saying all that, like, what made you say yes to Mandate?
What made me say yes?
Because for us, you're like this. And then when you said yes, we're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I originally saw Dre Skrilla's one.
Yeah.
And I saw, was it about haters or something?
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of him because of his story.
Yeah.
Because of where he come from. And like this, the self-belief. I love people who have the energy of just go-getter. Once they believe in themselves and they see a dream, they're just going to chase it. I enjoy it and I gravitate towards that. I saw Joseph, I saw Poetic, and the boys. And these are all people who are me, you know? That's me. That's me up there. And like when I took my sons to the Dawn Raid play and the Pacifica, and I want them to see them, you know, on stage. I want that to be normal for them. I guess I said yes because I knew straight away. I was like, wow, you're talking to us. You're probably me, you know, and I was right. We grew up in the same area. We grew up in the same hood, and we have a different language that no one else will understand. You know, there's a look in the eye that there's a twinkle there that no one gets, only us, because we've been through it.
Yeah.
And I'm biased towards Southside. All people need to say is Southside, and I'm like, that's my kryptonite. That's pretty much my. And then when I find you guys are from Southside, I was like, sweet. I'll do anything for my people. And I'm 100% serious on that. I'll do anything for my people because my people is me, and I'll do anything to help another Beulah out there. You know, whether he's male or female, anything. I just I want us to be great, South Auckland. You know,
Thank you.
Thank you. So, and
honestly, man,
we're glad you came and said yes, man. Oh man, we appreciate your time. Also, we are very grateful, Beulah, for what you shared and the Talanoa. But every guest that comes on also, we always give them a bit of a sketch, a bit of a caricature, a bit of a gift. And we got one for you.
Oh, bro, that's mean.
Oh, man.
Bro, that's mean.
Nah, we're so proud of you, bro. We're so proud of you and the work you do, man. And so, hey, man, that's a small token from the Mandate team to say thank you and keep up the amazing work you do. Also, of tele level for your time, also. And so, any last words, Charles?
I've probably been saying it throughout the podcast, but just want to thank you also, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, just for your humility, what you did today in terms of bringing a gift from Dawson. And if you know, this is gold. Like, people don't understand. And like, for that's a show of respect.
That's right. That's
a show of alofa, and someone that where the places that Beulah's gone to, this shows how humble he is and
So, yeah.
how connected he is to his roots. And so, just want to honor you. Thank you. We continue to pray for you also. We pray that God continues to open more avenues, more doors, more platforms, continues to make you feel uncomfortable because it feels like that's where the risk taking is and keeps you on edge. And I can't wait till you get into producing, build up your own theatre company and start directing because, I know that one day there's going to be young people that are going to be standing on your shoulders and remembering, hey, remember what Beulah did. And not to put that pressure on you, but I know that's something that...
I put that pressure on myself.
Sure. Yeah. Also, so thank you so much. Thank you for being on here with us and connecting and so much alofa to you and your ainga and pray blessing over you also. Thank you.
Thank you, brothers.
Man. Thank you, Beulah. Any last words? Oh, is there a guest you can think of, Beulah, that we idea to come on the podcast?
There's a couple, man. David Riley.
Yeah.
I think he's amazing. He's the guy that got me into drama or acting, and he didn't even know what drama was. But he's this white guy that grew up in South Auckland. That if you talk to him over the phone, solely you think you're talking to a Samoan. And he's one of my heroes. He's one of my pillars in my life. Another one would be Robbie Mangasiva. He's my big bro. Ruben Wiki. There's a couple of those guys. But yeah,
cool.
Those guys they're very strong pillars in my life. And I feel like what I say here comes from them as well. I learned that and I lean on them, learned those lessons off of them. And I thank them for that and the other boys in my close circle. And the woman, my wife, my mum and my agent. They're those guys are the gangsters. Those guys are the OGs, the mafia right there. So, yeah.
Oh, man, thank you, Beulah. Any last words of encouragement, Beulah, before we conclude?
Nah, man, shout out to the world, baby. I'm not like a big social media pusher guy, but I'm big on this stuff. I'm big on human interaction coming here, so... sure, follow me on social media, but all you're going to see is my kids, all you're going to see is the love and support I have, and I just hope people understand their uniqueness and understand the power they have inside of them. And it sounds cliche, but it's for real. And I hope Southside, the world doesn't know that there's a honeypot of talent out here, and all we need to do is believe in ourselves. That's it, and just keep being consistent and determined. And we'll win. Thank you guys for your time, man. I really appreciate this, man. I enjoy talking about this stuff. I feel like it's important for men to talk, not just men. I feel like it's important for humans to talk to each other and say I love you all the time. Go out there and say I love you. Force people to say I love you that you really love and need to know that. And if you get that spider sense about a certain brother or sis, give them a call. I feel that's always important as well. I just randomly call people, check up on them. And it doesn't need to be heavy. Yeah. You be the light, baby, and just tell them, I'm right here. Follow me.
I don't love her, man. Thank you so much once again, Beulah. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We look forward to your well thought out comments. But man, we've been very blessed tonight also. So with that also, as usual,
refine,
unlock,
take charge.
Mandate.